And now, Action News Now Storm Tracker weather. Coverage you can count on.
Well, we had a chilly morning out there. Plenty more of those in your forecast. As for right now, it's a pleasant day out there. Winds are not too bad either, but winds will be picking up as we go to tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a wind advisory. Starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, lasts until 11 p.m. Tomorrow night. We could see north winds, so winds from the north, 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting up to 55 miles per hour. And this wind advisory is mainly for the valley, but you could still see some elevated wind speeds out there in the foothills. And in fact, the red flag warning is expanded over a much larger area. All that also starts 8 a.m. on Tuesday, but lasts until Wednesday afternoon. We have that dry vegetation. We're going to be seeing gusty winds across the area, even though the strongest winds will be seen in the valley. And either way, we'll be seeing low humidity through the entire week, so no rain really forecasted either. Either way, that means high fire danger. But when you combine the dry conditions with those high winds, that can get a little dangerous. So we're keeping a close eye on those winds and how strong they could get. So here's a futurecast look at those wind gusts. Notice when we go into tonight, the winds are almost nothing. Once we go to tomorrow morning, they do begin to pick up just a little bit out there in the valley. Shingletown, 29 miles per hour, 9 out there at Mineral. But once we go to about 10 o'clock in the morning, that's when we're going to see those winds really starting to pick up. These are wind gusts, so not sustained wind speeds, but already seeing some 20s and 30s out there. And then look at that 40s and 50s for your afternoon and lunchtime out there for tomorrow. So very gusty winds tomorrow. Make sure to stay safe. Make sure not to drive next to large vehicles. Stay clear of the power poles and the trees because some of them could snap in this high wind speeds. Once we go to Wednesday, we're still seeing some elevated winds out there, but not nearly as strong, which is why the wind advisory does not extend into Wednesday, but the fire danger does. As for those current temperatures right now, 70 degrees out there in Redding. Some of you are still in the 60s, so Chico, Orville, Willows, still in the 60s out there. As for those mountain locations, many of you are in the 50s right now. Overnight lows getting really frigid cold out there in the mountain locations. Altura is hitting 13. Bernie, Susanville, Chester, Quincy, all in the 20s for those low temperatures. And same for Trinity County. Once we go to the valley, though, should be dropping into the low 40s. Just a few of you could get into the 30s. But once we go later in that forecast, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, more of you could hit the 30s in the valley. As for highs tomorrow, no 70s in this forecast. So all of you should be reaching the 60s tomorrow, but not the 70s. Redding, a high of 64, so tomorrow could get pretty cool out there. As for that fire weather forecast that we're looking tomorrow, we have that high fire danger. Not as high on Wednesday because the winds will be calming down somewhat. Then once we go to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll have light winds, so not much fire danger to worry about. As for the 7-day forecast, that high fire danger for tomorrow, a high of 67 in Chico, rising to 68 on Wednesday, then back in the 70s for Halloween. It could be a little chilly for trick-or-treating, though. Might want to wear a few extra layers. By Friday and Saturday, we get back into the upper 70s, and we stay there through the weekend. As for Redding, a high of 63 for tomorrow, rising to 65 on Wednesday, but still very cool out there. Once we get to Halloween, we're back in the 70s. And then look at that. Once we get to Saturday and Sunday, maybe we could reach the 80s. So it could get a little warm by your weekend, but overall, a very pleasant week once we get through tomorrow.
Not bad at all. Thank you, Brian. NASA is getting into the Halloween spirit. Take a look.